Hey everybody, it's Jordan, and this is Jordan Reviews It All. Today we're reviewing the Asylum series by Madeleine Roux. I was going to make 3 separate videos, one for each book, but they were fairly similar, and I didn't want to give away any details on the second or third one that would spoil the first one. So I'm just going to go ahead and review all 3 in one video. So I was lent the Asylum series by a friend. She lent me all 3 books, which is Asylum, Sanctum, and then Catacomb. Each one, the first one, it took me the longest just because the story, it took a little while to get into it, but each one I finished in less than a 24-hour span per book. They were very quick reads, so that's a nice change of pace if you're looking for something that's simple and just fun, but not too complex to where you have to read and reread everything just to see what's going on. So it's nice if you just need a young adult suspense book, just something to kind of maybe break up your harder reads, or just something to do, you know, before you go to sleep, whatever. These are good for that. So a brief summary of all 3 books. Your main character is Daniel Crawford. He goes by Dan. He meets a girl named Abby and a guy named Jordan at the New Hampshire College Prep program in the first book, which is a 5-week summer program where they go and see if they want to go to this college or not. Throughout that book and the second and third one, the 3 of them have to kind of solve mysteries and uncover hidden facts about the New Hampshire College in the first and second book. The first book, they're actually staying inside of an abandoned insane asylum called Brookline, and it has been turned into a dorm room for the New Hampshire College, and that's where they are staying in the first one. In the second one, they stay in a different dorm, but it still has to do a lot with the asylum. And then the third book is actually completely different. It takes place in New Orleans. It doesn't have anything to do with the setting of the first or second one, except for some just kind of points that it goes back and references the first and second book, but for the most part it's pretty standalone. So for ratings, I just kind of grouped them all into my rating system. The language and writing style, I gave 3.5 stars for all 3 books combined, because the first book was pretty slow to start. It picked up close to the halfway point, and then I was eager to keep reading, and then once I finished that book, then I immediately started the second book because I liked the first one so much. Book 2 was pretty... I didn't care for book 2 that much. It relied very heavily on the first book, and I understand it's a series, but it almost seemed like it was trying to copy the first book in some points, and I didn't really care for that. Book 3 was actually my favorite out of the 3. It was engaging from the beginning to the end, so that one was the best one. But 3.5 stars overall for all 3. Creativity, I'm giving 4 stars. Like I said, book 1 and 3 were original. Book 2 just relied too heavily on the first book. It made me worried about the third book if I'd like it or not. But since Madeleine Roux took a different route for that third book, it was much better that way, that it's more standalone. So 4 stars overall. Immersion, I'm giving 3 stars. The weird thing about these books is they have pictures, and some pictures were just illustrations made by a company, and some pictures were made or were actually collected, and they're real photos of insane asylums or carnivals or New Orleans. And at first, when I started reading the first book and I got to these pictures, I was like, this is weird. I wasn't a fan of having these pictures in there. It felt odd. It took me out of the story and the setting I was building in my own head, and then I was forced to look at these pictures, so my mental image of what these books should be was just totally changed because I was forced these pictures. I mean, I got to the point by the second book where I got used to seeing the pictures, but still I wasn't a huge fan of them. The interesting thing about this, though, is I didn't realize until the very end of the first book that some of those pictures were from actual insane asylums. And I was totally freaked out because it's not a very pleasant mental image. So, so as far as like building suspense, that actually like made my stomach go in knots seeing that some of those pictures were from real insane asylums. And so that was interesting, but overall I could have done without them. So how much did I enjoy the story? I'm giving it 4 stars for all 3. I really feel like book 2 wasn't on the same level as books 1 and 3. It dragged on. It was kind of made the characters seem really, it made the main character Daniel, it made him seem really needy, and it was kind of odd. And it did make me worry that I wasn't going to like book 3. The only reason that I actually went ahead and read book 3 was because I was lent the book already. If this was the kind of thing where I would buy one book each separately, I probably wouldn't have even bought the third book because I just didn't really care for the second. So would I read them again? No. Once was enough. They were, overall, they were interesting, and I did enjoy them as they were. I mean, I read all 3 of them within 3.5 days, pretty much. So, they were enjoyable, but I don't feel like I've missed anything from my first reads of these books. I feel like I've gotten everything out of them that I'm supposed to get out of them. So, I'm just going to go ahead and move on to the next thing and just return these books back to my friend. So, yeah, my next book. Oh, I'm sorry. Overall rating. I gave it 3.6 stars overall for all 3. Not bad. Not amazing. I'll be posting the link as always, so you can purchase the series if you would like to. There are also 2 other books, I believe. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but there's the Asylum novellas and Escape from Asylum are also available. I'm not going to be getting into those books. I'm not going to be reading them. I feel like I'm done with the series and I'd like to move on. But those are also available if you're interested. But my next book that I'm going to be reading is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This book is very highly recommended. It was lent to me by my sister, but I am a part of several book groups, and when I've asked their opinion on this, that's all very high praise. It is much longer than each of the 3 books that I just read. I believe it's somewhere in the 500 pages. Yeah, 564 pages. So it might take me a little while, but it is supposed to be a very good read, and so I'm very excited to start it. And I will be posting the link in the description on where you can pick up The Nightingale. and then we'll make my next video on that. So please hit the subscribe button if you're interested, and you can see when I post my next video. It'd be greatly appreciated. So I'm Jordan, and this is Jordan Reviews It All.